Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
It's that time.
Yeah. Good evening. Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Excited to be here. Excited to be here. Yes.
Fantastic. We're always so excited to be here. This is my favorite day of the week. Tuesdays is all things financial freedom, financial wisdom. And I see the missus is looking absolutely amazing with her fabulous hair. And
I picked the outfit out, did her makeup and everything. It was
everything. The whole styling session happened already.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So here it is. This is part 3.
Yes. Yeah. So the marriage and money series, right? On the first couple episodes, like the number one, we went over the protection, the importance of life insurance and as a part of your whole financial picture as a couple. And we talked about debt, like debt, credit, how to make sure that have the right mindset when it comes to these topics, which are very touchy topics sometimes as in the marriage. And also, so the third part, we talk about saving and investing, right? What's the right mindset when it comes to saving and investing? How to structure right away? What are some of the challenges that couples come across?
Okay.
A lot of times, so people take advantage of. So we're excited about this one.
This was going to be about savings and investing. Fantastic. So we want to welcome you for joining us here on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. We are live. So whether you're watching live or whether you watch the replay, please comment, share any questions that you may have, because we do go back and review these comments. So let's go. Let's do this thing. Absolutely. I have my paper and pen already, so I'm good.
Yes, absolutely. So if you look at the first topic, if you look at the first slide, right, what are some of the things you also want to save for a rainy day, right? But also for the future. So saving and investing is very important. Think about some of the things that we have to look at, right? Number one is emergency funds. Emergencies happen. You want to set up for emergencies, right? There's not a different accounts we'll have. I think we've done a couple episodes on that, on a different kind of accounts that people need to have and their finances. The first one is, we talked about short-term emergency account, which is bank account, checking account, money market, things like that you need to have to run your day-to-day activity. One's for short-term goals also, that you want to have something you want to buy in a short term, let's say 3 years, 5 years from now. And also long-term child education. As you start building your family, you want to find long-term accounts like education, right? Child's education, college funds, retirement plans, 401ks, IRAs. So those are the things we're going to focus more on, how to structure it properly as a couple, right? And get also having the right mindset also going forward, like before we're on track and get married, right?
Okay. So talking about the child's education, we're gonna tap into that in a second.
A little bit, yes, about that. Yes, absolutely.
Let me not ask a question like, because you might answer it later. Okay, I'll move on.
Absolutely great. So, say for emergency, for example, this is a fact. It's how fewer than 44% say they can afford to pay $1,000 emergency expenses, right? And from their savings, like according to service out there, right? It's so important for you to establish the right kind of mindset when it comes to savings. Make sure you save for the emergency fund. What's the rule of thumb? You want to have at least 3 to 6 months of your income saved thus far after you had an emergency. So, as a couple, you have to look at, for example, how much is, let's say both spouses are working, how much is the husband work, how much is the wife work, what the spouse is working, how much they make on a monthly basis. And you want to have these 3 to 6 months of their income saved after you had an emergency. And one question that's very, very, very controversial, happens all the time, right, is accounts. Accounts, joint accounts, single accounts, right? What's our take on that? right? Because that's one of the challenges that happens sometimes a couple, right? For example, how do you structure your savings? How do you pay your bills, right? For example, and it's different. The answer is different from everybody, right? Because I remember, for example, when, let's say, same thing with your parents, our parents work, they started building their life together, right?
Yes.
So at that point, there was just one account. They're just one account, a joint account, where the husband and wife have joint account where they use that, and that's all they had was.
They didn't even say joint; they just said the account.
The account, right? Just one account, exactly, right? That they've had, and that's the way it was always traditionally. But now, where the family dynamics has totally changed over the past 20, 30, I guess 20, 30, 40 years, where, for example, is maybe they're single, both spouses work. Maybe they had their life finances before, they had their own account, then the spouse had the other account, right? And they got together. Now, how do they structure their finances? What do they do? Should they have their separate accounts, joint accounts? How should we have it? How should they structure it? And this is the rule of thumb. And everyone's situation is different, right? We'll talk about our experience also. For example, it's very important, if you're going to build your finances together, you want to have a joint account where both names are on it, where the income's coming in. So let's say
this would be the
ideal scenario.
Not saying there's exceptions, there's stuff that we don't know about, Okay, exactly. So this is the ideal
scenario, absolutely. Where there's a joint account, let's say both spouses work, so income's going to one account, the joint account, where that goes to pay all the bills and all the financial things for the family that needs to be taken care of. That's the first thing. You want to have an agreement on that. The next thing, you can have a separate account. I think it's very important to have your individuality also, that it's okay for, let's say, the husband to have his own account, right? And also the wife to have her own account, right? Because it's very important you want to have your own individuality. You want to be able to how can I say, be able to feel like you don't feel totally lost. Like you have a little something. Like after that's taken care of, you want to have money, just stuff that you don't have to, little things. So it's very important to have that also. Ask permission. What happened?
I want to give you a gift.
Something like that, right? Exactly. That you can that you can have. That's perfectly fine. That is the ideal situation, right?
Okay, so the ideal situation, because we got some new people that just jumped on.
Yes.
You have a joint account, which again, you mentioned things have changed in the past 20 years. Before, married couples would get together and they only had one account. But nowadays, culture has just changed. So we have one joint account, and then each individual has their own individual account.
Accounts, absolutely.
That makes sense. That's what I have going on here.
Absolutely. It's so important.
And that takes time. It doesn't happen. Oh, you got married. Like my daughters, they're like, oh, now we have everything. Before, when they got married, it was a couple of months because you have to merge.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to get
a merging period.
Yeah. And also the people that remarry. Also, there's people that have stepchildren or
exactly.
I would get what do you call child support. That didn't go into the main joint account because that money's worth for the kids. That's how I bought their clothes, their school, anything they needed, and I would save that because Bernard took care of everything else. But that I had an individual and I had my children's accounts, and then we had the joint, and he had his own. Also, he had business accounts.
I have a lot of accounts because we have LLC, different business. I have probably a lot. Our situation is not common, different. But but if someone has a regular job, pretty much it's gonna be very similar to that, right? To have your own separate, also joint, but also it's very important to be very, very transparent. Okay, it's very transparent, and that happens sometimes, right? Where she has, if a spouse individual account, if the other spouse wants to say, can I see the account? It has to be open that you're like, oh, I know you're not allowed. No, see, then at that point in time, it creates trust issues.
Right. So it's not like I have $40,000 sitting in my account and I'm not telling Robert Kroll about it.
Exactly. Or
okay.
vice versa. So, but I've seen that happen. It causes a lot of, but there's deeper issue. There's a trust issues within a marriage. Like I have a lot of different accounts. I have, but she has access to all of them, right? Some are business accounts, some we have business accounts together, we have joint account together, we have separate individual accounts, also each other. But the key, she has access. If she wants to see, pull it up, she can actually log on and see what's there. So it's not, we're not, I don't know, kill surprise. Like it's not hiding. In other words, so
correct.
The main thing is that the main issue here, you can have it, but you need to have transparency.
Okay.
Transparent and have access, and because that creates trust.
And also by the years, your goals change as couple, right? Sometimes in the beginning, you probably get into debt because you get in your household, your apartment, your house. Things are in place. And then, you take care of debt and saving at the same time. We don't believe you should pour your income all into your debt and get rid of it. No, you should incrementally take care of both, right? As Bernard has been teaching us, right? And it's important that you revisit those conversations, the communication. Hey, this year, what do you think? Oh, we were thinking of, instead of a used car, let's buy a new car. Oh, should we lease it or buy a new car? So then the goals change. And then, and maybe account will be put or established for that savings, because we believe that you should be buying things in cash.
So good.
In credit, right? And maybe we go, okay, whatever I bring in, we're going to use that for the car. And then whatever you bring in, we're going to do the bills. So things can change, can fluctuate, can evolve. So to me, you have to revisit. Like every 6 months, like, okay, are we on track? Should we change this? It's not working. So to me, I'm very big in communication. And it's not only, how you feel, your emotion. No, there's financial communication. And when you do that, it's because you set goals. Let's say you want to scale your business. Okay, what does that mean? I may have to hire people. So do we have the income? Are we making that income so we can scale? So all these things have to be spoken, have to be a dialogue, has to be discussed, and you have to listen. Sometimes we're like talking, but you have to listen to your spouse because he has ideas too, and she has ideas.
So good.
Absolutely, so important to have that. So this issue, when there's like to summarize this topic, is you got to have transparency, and I think what happens is when there's lack of transparency, lack of trust, and it creates issues, and that's. And you do what works for you, but the key is to have trust and transparency. That's the main thing. As long as that's the core of any decision you make, in other words. Right?
Love that. So this savings for emergency.
Yes.
We want to put in, tell me a little bit more about that. Like we put in
3 to 6 months.
Amount of our income should be going in there.
Absolutely. At least you want to build it up to you get at least 3 to 6 months of your income, like of your expenses. So let's say your expenses are $5,000 a month, right? So you want to have between 15 to 30,000 saved in the emergency.
That's not labeled for anything. It is emergency. God forbid.
Outside your bank account.
Yeah.
And a different account that's not linked to your bank account.
You don't
because if we see it, we're going to spend it.
Exactly. It's easy to transfer. Oh, let me go online and transfer in 2 seconds. We talk a lot about it. In 2 seconds it gets there. Then it becomes a second checking account. So you need to have it set up outside your banking institution where you have access to it. If you had an emergency bill, it'll take 1 or 2 business days to get there. So that takes away the impulse spending that happens on people. Oh, I want to get something. I see something. I want to get something. Then adapt. Yes.
Not only that, people's emergency is their credit cards.
And they end up using credit cards. So you gotta have an emergency. You have to have set that up because things happen. Maybe a spouse out of work. Listen, even like Robert, a couple months ago, it was challenging because health challenges happens. God forbid someone gets laid off or things like that happen in life. There's uncertainty in life. So you gotta prepare for that. And the last thing you want is, your married couple building your life. And sometimes you get thrown a monkey wrench and you're not ready for it.
That brings stress to the marriage and relationship.
And it creates challenges. So we want to build that up. That's the first thing, to help build that up first.
And one thing that you just said, which we need to shift our mindset, especially for the younger folks that are watching this, is the mentality of the culture now is my emergency fund is my credit cards.
No, it's not.
That's wrong.
I've seen it. They open their wallet. Oh no, that's for emergencies because they have a credit limit of 5,000. No, that is not the proper way of having an emergency.
Yes.
Emergency is cash.
Cash, yes.
Right.
Worked it up to cash. Absolutely.
So good.
And this is where also another debate that you want to have, like couples have, for example, difference between wants and needs, right? It's wants and needs. That's one of the things that there's a lot of difference. Some people say like a couple, one person might say, I want something, but it's either a want or a need.
Yeah.
So you got to have those agreements where you find what is the want, what is the need. Summer vacations. One thing I see happen all the time is a lot of love going vacations and they my God, and a lot of times because social media because people have seen certain things, social media has distorted people's mindset sometimes because they feel like, oh my gosh, everybody's having fun but me, right? Everybody's living their life but me. And that's the perception you have, like, oh my gosh, everyone sometimes, and you see people go on vacations, but you're using credit cards, sometimes 3, 4, 5,000 credit cards, and you can't even enjoy the vacation because you have the bill afterwards. So I always plan your vacations. Make sure everything's then you can plan. We made a decision, us, and our lives is totally different. Is we're fortunate enough where a lot of our vacations is our a company sometimes every 6 months sends us different places, and we're fortunate enough to be able to do that. We use that as our vacation.
Smart.
We use that as our vacation. We use that, and sometimes one would take just me and her would just go alone, and one will have the kids come. We've been to a wide different places, but not everyone's may not be in that situation. But you got to make sure you're on vacation make sure you want to enjoy the vacation. Make sure that's taken care of. I'm all for enjoying your life. I'm all for enjoying your life, but we want to make sure that you don't want to have debt, have no money saved, and you go on vacation and use what? Stress. And you enjoy during that time, but guess what happens when you come back? You're stressed. See, I don't want to go on a vacation and be stressed out after I come back from vacation because I'm getting the bill and I have to find a way to pay the bill. I don't want to do that. Listen, one of our goals, and we want to go to Europe probably next year. And could we have gone? Yes. But we didn't want to go because we didn't want to. We wanted to go the right way. That's just us. Personally, we wanted to go the right, and everybody's different. Not just us, but everybody's totally different.
Personally, we feel like if we have a big goal. If we hit that goal, that's our reward. That's our motivation. That's the way we function.
Yeah. It's that bait.
Yeah, put the bait out there to make things happen. I've been wanting. He has family in Europe, and we could stay over there for free. Like he said, we could go over there, but we don't want to just go over there. We want to go have the tours and all that.
I mean, we want to go all out. Maybe I'm thinking too big. Maybe that's not wrong, but I want to go up there. If I want to spend $10,000-$20,000 cash, I don't have to worry about it.
Yes.
If I want to go shop and go eat every single day, nicest restaurant, go to Versailles, I want to be able to do that and not worry about it and not have to use credit cards. So that's personally the way we look at things. Yeah. And one thing's also important also to do is, and that creates conflicts between spouses, is wants and needs. Sometimes one spouse wants to get, sometimes you have a spouse maybe that wants to get nice stuff, right? And the other one's like, oh, that's a waste of time. And there's always debate and things like that. But you want to be able to have a balance. One thing is I've seen relationships where sometimes is very controlling, where one spouse has to worry about, oh my gosh, they can't get anything because someone's going to be questioned and things like that. You don't want that either, because that it creates tension. Like, we have an agreement that whatever she wants to get, she gets, because we trust each other. We know, because we know we are in sync with our goals, right? What things we want to accomplish, we're in sync. So
I'm not gonna make a foolish
$500 purchase just to do it.
Foolish decision.
Yeah, like I tell him, listen, anything under $100, don't tell me about. Anything over 100, I think we should discuss. Only because we have a goal. We're saying, So he said, listen, I got this. I don't think I'm gonna find it. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, go get it. Why? Because
it's little things like that.
We paid for everything, and we have our allocated accounts, and everything's taken care of. Because I am very strict on like everything got to be taken care of before you splurge
Absolutely.
or whatever.
Yeah. Like one things that we do, like, listen, I like one things I like watches. I like and I said, listen, it's not expensive watch. It's like regular Movado watch, 700 to 1,000, right?
Example.
It's just an example. It's not, I mean, not really expensive like a Rolex, anything like that. So can I get it now? Yes. Can I get it now and not worry about how? Yes, absolutely, I can get it now. But I don't want to get it now because I say I want to hit this goal first, right? Yeah. And I want to hit this goal. When I hit this goal, I'll get it. There's things I won't get. I want to. When I hit this goal, I'm gonna get it. So it causes me to stretch, right?
That's smart.
Call me stretch. So those are things. Big ticket purchases. You gotta have an agreement with that. Big ticket purchases.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Also, like things like you want to get. So those are things that
there's also the time. If there's a need, like it may look like a want to him, it could be a need for me. In other words, I was speaking with a couple that I'm close to, and she was saying, oh, he doesn't want to take a 4-day vacation. I need a vacation. This person works hard, like 60, 80 hours, and she just feels to unplug. So that's a need. He sees it as a want. Like, we don't need that. We could go here. Let's just go out. Let's just go out in the town or whatever. She goes, no, I need to be somewhere that people cannot get in touch with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I understood, and I spoke to him, and I'm like, listen, why don't you compromise? Why don't you go on a 3 or 4 day, and then another weekend you go out in the town or go do the things that you like? And he was like, oh, okay. And it was just that he's not understanding the need, that's a need, but it's because she needs to unplug. It's not like she want to go spend. And they do have the money because she set it aside. They set it aside.
So that's that financial communication that you spoke to us about earlier on the podcast, about having financial communication with your spouse.
Another quick example that he had mentioned, that he had 2-3 memberships, and I was like, "What the heck? You need 3?"
Oh yeah, we remember that from last time.
I keep getting that all the time.
No. He only has 2 now. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I understand why he needed the memberships, but that was a conversation. It wasn't the back and forth, but we weren't explaining why.
Exactly. Absolutely. Let's talk about next steps as you start building your family, adding new ones. New babies, right? So you're saving for your child's education. Tuition fees are more than double the past 20 years, reaching $10,900 at 4-year in public college and versus private. And also, I mean, and it has totally changed. So it's like you really have to plan that out. Yeah, really have to plan that out. Kids' education, the average college, if you see a 4-year it's crazy what's happening. 27, 30, 40,000. I mean, I went to college in 91. No. Earlier than that, right? I graduated high school in 1988, right? 1980, 99. So I went to St. John, was only $3,500 a semester back then. St. John's University. You fast forward right now, it's almost 30 or 40, 50,000 a year, if not more.
Darius was 120,000.
So it's crazy.
It's money. I don't know if I'm seeing Darius right now or who this is, but it's DI_Alerte.
I might be relative. I have a lot of relatives.
Keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what I used to do, babe? When people would get the kids' birthdays, I have a lot of kids, they would give me money. I wouldn't go and buy the sneakers, I will put it aside, and we will put it in the college fund. We will put it in their college fund. So Christmas, when the tios and tias would give them $20, I would put that in the account together with putting money in there. So we did that. That was not even enough for Darius college tuition. Thank God he got scholarships and he got a whole bunch of help too. But that was, as soon as a baby's born, an account should be opened up.
You want to set up as early as right now. You have to set it up because it's so expensive right now for kids' education. But like I always talk about, make sure your retirement is taken care of. Make sure your priorities taken care of. Make sure you have your IRA retirement plan started. Then after that, kids, like we talk about the financial house, right? Kids' education, because kids have time. You don't.
Oh yeah.
Kids have time. You don't. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that image.
one of the biggest mistakes sometimes make as a couple is to make sure that they oh man, I want to put kids education. You have no money saved. That doesn't work. Make sure your retirement, your IRAs, 401k is funded, fully funded, preferably. Then you can open up your kids' education and work on
And
that.
what's the minimum? Isn't it $25?
You can put $25, $50, get started, but make sure your retirement is taken care of first. Then you add the kids' education. So that's the start. But the key is starting early makes a big difference.
Yeah.
As early as possible.
Oh, good.
So let's look at the next slide right now. Let's talk about saving for retirement. Right. This is something that's totally overlooked. Overlooked is the retirement. How much money? Right. Think about that. Right. You find out 60% of Americans don't have a specific retirement account. Right. Retirement specific account. That's number one. Most people aren't saving enough money for their retirement and enter retirement with too little stashed away. According to 20, right? Americans have 78% of the amount they'll need for retirement. And even less than 50% of households may not even be able to pay for essential expenses at retirement. See, when you think about retirement, it's not just you, it's you and your spouse. Right? And I like to use the analogy, right? Think about it. Let's say if you decided to have a really terrible diet. You say, you know what, when I retire, I'm gonna eat McDonald's, right? I'm a McDonald's every day, 3 meals a day, McDonald's. Let's use that for example, right? So if you think about it for a spouse, right? So 5 and 5, that's 10, right? 3 meals a day, that's $30. If you supersize it, 40, right?
One meal is $5 at McDonald's.
Right, I don't know. I'm just using an example. That's $30.
Yeah.
Right? That's $30 right there. A day you're spending 7 days a week, 210, 800. If you round it up, that's almost 90, 100,000. That's a lot of money. So if you look at 3-4 years, that's about a couple eating 10 years of retirement. If you did that for 10 years, that's a couple $100,000 you need to have. Most people don't even have that saved up right now. And I'm not even talking about just eating at McDonald's, right? I'm not talking about any other expenses like rent or mortgage or taxes, nothing, just on that. If you did the math, people are not saving enough money.
Right.
People don't realize that they need to start saving for their retirements, right? So if you look at the next slide.
There's no such thing as retirement loan.
Exactly. More than 2/5 of baby boomers are near retirement with no retirement. It's crazy. They said the average 50 has 25,000 saved for their retirement. It's not like 50 or 25,000 saved for their retirement, right? See, many Americans have a long way to go when it comes to affording retirement. 52% have less than 10,000 saved. And a lot of them is a lot. Also, you have to make sure that when you plan for retirement, you're not playing just for yourself, but playing for your spouse.
Yeah, that's why
for your spouse is so important.
Each one is supposed to have a retirement. There's no joint retirement.
You got to have your own separate retirement.
I'm laughing about that, Lori. I'm literally laughing about that here. I'm like, hashtag no such thing.
There's no retirement loan.
No, there isn't.
There's no retirement loan. So
there's student loans.
But you have to make sure you plan and you save for retirement. Both couples.
Yeah, because ain't nobody gonna help you.
Nobody's gonna save. And Social Security is not gonna be there.
Oh, forget
by the time most people retire. Average Social Security maybe that's $1,900 maybe.
Yeah, like this.
Treat your kids good.
Just a little bit, right? Right.
They're gonna come back to the
right. See, you got to treat your kids good because that's gonna be paid back, right? Because you're gonna and forget
that's gonna be your only choice.
And that's gonna be paid back on early, like go to bed early. That's paid back right now. It's coming. Oh, remember to go to bed early? Guess what's gonna happen? Now you're gonna go to bed early too. That's what's gonna happen, right? So,
this is some truth right here. This is some truth.
We're gonna be called the sandwich generation to the point that we're gonna take care of our kids and our parents at the same time.
We have, you're gonna have adults still living in your adult children still living in your household, plus your parents.
That's gonna happen, and we have to. And you have to plan for that and that's the last thing you want because you work as a couple, you work hard as a couple, and be able to do that. And now you have to struggle. So you have to plan early. And the good thing about that people don't realize that you can have a Roth IRA, which is one of the best vehicles to save money for their retirement because you can grow money tax deferred and tax free. See, they allow you to put 7,000 if you're under 50, 7,000 for husband, 7,000 for the wife.
Mm.
For
That's
the spouse.
awesome. That's 14.
So you can spend 14,000. So the good thing is to have both, right? So after, let's say if you maxed out for one couple, one spouse, the next time max out for the other one. So even if it's not working, let's say the husband's not working and the wife works, or vice versa, where the husband works and there's only one income in the household. If you're fortunate in that situation, they both can have an IRA. You can both fund your spouse's IRA. Either way.
Mm-hmm.
So you're allowed to do that. So it's so important to plan, to really sit down and really as a couple to really look at everything and to really be in sync. Really be in sync. Because it's like, for example, if you drive a car, right? Mm-hmm. If you drive a car like 70, 80 miles, let's say you have a bad wheel alignment and you drive a car 70, 80, you're bound to crash. Mm-hmm. You're bound to have an accident. So you got to make sure that you are in alignment. The most important thing as a couple to have last and also be able financially to be able to survive and grow is you have to be in alignment. Mm-hmm. You have to be in alignment. You have to have you could have different mindsets because like her and I are totally different. Eileen and I, we're not like robots. We're different, real different in so many ways.
We have different perspectives on certain things.
Like Eileen, a sport for her is saving money. That's like a sport.
Yeah.
Like she'll get it if she saves like $1. She's like, oh my gosh, I saved $1. She loves it. That's just her nature.
I like zeros and commas in my account.
I'm not like that. I like I'm like even when I go, I tend to get accused to over tipping and she does not she cheap, but
I tip, but
she
it's
do, but
like
I'm like
over tip
because when I was, you know what it was, when I was younger, I was in the service younger.
He explained why. You see, that was a discussion of why you over tip.
I used to work in a bar, restaurant, so I understood like people lived on tips. So because of that, I used to really over tip. Forget about 15. I used to put 20, 25, 30%.
Yes. Laura is saying facts. She says facts about Eileen. She says zeros and commas, please.
Yeah, she but we're different. But the good thing we learn to respect our differences. Mm-hmm. We learn to respect and be okay, you know what? Just the way she is, she's not gonna try to impose on me and vice versa also. But either way, we're still in sync.
But we weren't in the beginning. Let's be real.
Yes.
It took a while. Because I'm the type that if I need to pay, I overpay so that I'm not in debt. And he's like, no, but let's just pay the minimum. I'm like, no, let's pay over. And then it was always like that until we decided, okay, let's take the strategy of taking care of debt in this manner, and when you sit down, it's called debt stacking, where we learned how to do that and tackle. So we brought both perspectives in and we got a strategy, which he goes over when he does an analysis. Sure. And I said, oh, okay, that's the way we could tackle it. Because my goal was to get rid of the debt, and his goal was to keep the savings going.
Yeah, debt and savings, the whole debt
right. So it was like a struggle. No, we got to get rid of that. No, we got to save. So it was like, no, we got to do both, but we have to do it in this strategy.
Absolutely.
So good. So good. Yes. Thank you all for watching on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Love this content.
Absolutely.
Next.
So next slide, last slide, very simple. First step is, guess what? Get a financial snapshot. Get together. Get your financial snapshot. For plan for inspector, save for retirement, pay off debts. As you start your new life together, it doesn't have to be. It shouldn't have to be overwhelming. Yeah. It shouldn't have to be overwhelming. It's just like something you just gotta let's take a look at it. Let's look at a different perspective. Sit down with someone that's gonna give you a different perspective, so you can work together towards that,
or referee.
A referee or something.
Well,
like that,
we need it.
Well, that's what we do. That's the good part.
Yeah, we're referees now.
Exactly. So those are the things that are so important. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, it's too overwhelming. No, you just gotta come together. The most important thing is you got to have goals. You have to be in sync. You have to be in sync together. You have to have and come and agree to things that you agree on and build on that. Have the things you don't have to agree on everything, but agree to things that you agree on. The most important things to agree on and work on the rest and learn to accept each other the rest. as long as it doesn't compromise your financial situation. Accept it. Make sure that your goals, there's deal breakers and things you can work with.
Yes.
There's deal breakers. Sometimes like that, this is a deal breaker, and some you can work with. Like, for example, let's say you have to pay your mortgage or your rent, you have to pay debts, and you take that to go buy something, go on vacation, and you don't pay see, that's things like that are deal breakers. or you things like that are deal breakers. But everything else you can work with. So there's deal breakers. You need to identify. This is a deal breaker.
This has to get done.
This is a deal breaker. This we can work with, but this is a deal breaker. And learn to accept each other. That's the best part. Learn to accept each other, embrace our differences, and just build on that.
Be transparent and be honest so that the other person can understand where it is that you're coming from, and build on that financial communication. And I like the debt stacking thing. I love that. I think that might need to be an episode or something.
Absolutely.
What that all entails, and the whole
it's very
debt and pulling up savings.
It's an analysis of all your debt. It takes percentage, a minimum amount, all that, and then it calculates, okay, which is the priority,
the best way to pay
the best way to pay off.
I remember an episode.
It's individualized.
The most strategic way to pay off the debt.
Yes. I remember that episode. There was an episode of that. We're gonna look that up, honey, so you can watch that. Absolutely. I think you do that already, but it just sounds so good.
Absolutely.
This is great. Listen, this was part 3, savings and investing, with our financial coach and his beautiful wife. My gosh, just dropping some gold nuggets for us. Love that there has been such a great interaction with those that have been watching. And I think we really have prioritized this time to learn and grow, and really pay attention to our finances in such a beautiful way that you're able to explain it and to teach it to us.
Appreciate that. Absolutely. So the next week's gonna be the last one on marriage and money, right? We're gonna talk about working together as a couple, like partners. You're building a business as partners, when you're working together, and how to navigate those waters, how to be able to.
So when one or both are entrepreneurs, working together, working the same. Because one thing I feel like, oh my gosh, some people say, well, how do you work with your spouse? Like we work all the time, but like, how do you work all these years? And because we've learned, so it's not easy. It is not easy, but you got to have certain strategies to help you. So we're going to talk a little bit about that,
especially when both have a strong leadership,
strong personality, strong leadership, and how to work together.
And I'm assuming it's going to be a lot of strategy and structure for both to follow.
Absolutely. So
evolving too,
and it's evolving. Like our business, we work together. We've been working business for years, so it's evolving, and there's challenges that we go through. We grow through it and stuff, but it's very important to have the basics set up, to have mindset, and you can grow through the rest.
Ooh, so that's next week, guys. You don't want to miss it. If you're in business, or your spouse is in business, or both you all are in business, you're going to
go into a business and you're nervous or you're scared. I want to work with I want to build something, but
how do I do it?
How are we going to do it? Right?
Or will the dynamics change?
Is that going to affect
household and business,
or personal life, or is that going to affect? So we're going to talk about that. Yeah.
So good. Thanks to the coaches. Yes, I love this so much. Thank you all for always sharing such great wisdom here at the Army Empire podcast. You all never fail us. You never fail us, Coach. Always something new. Always something to get our minds rolling and thinking, and conversations are being provoked because of this podcast. And you're blessing so many people. So, folks, join us again next week, and we get the lovely wife one more time with us here.
Absolutely. Yes. Then she's gonna go on vacation.
If she doesn't take off to Europe.
Yes.
All right, guys. We love you. Thank you all for watching. Those on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We'll see you again next time. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.